Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is with great pride that we welcome back one of the greatest teams in UB's long and storied football history.
The '58 season, that group of young men became so close that there was no distinction between a first team and a second team or a third team.
We worked together, we sweated together, we bled together.
He's gonna go all the way. Touchdown, Buffalo!
There was plenty that might have divided the 1958 Buffalo Bulls football team. Some were kids fresh out of high school, others were veterans home from the Korean War. There were Germans and Poles and Italians. There were white players, and there were two black players, defensive end Mike Wilson and starting halfback Willie Evans.
Did it make any difference to you, or do you think to the team, that you were the only two black players on the squad?
It didn't matter because you were concentrating on playing the game of football.
In the season opener, Buffalo upset Harvard on a rain-soaked field.
It's all over, the Bulls win it! Buffalo 6, Harvard 3, and what a season this is gonna be!
We would never get out-hit in a game, and we didn't. You know, the other team knew that they were going to get hit right from the first 2 minutes of the game.
You just felt that there was nobody that could beat you.
The Bulls went on to post an 8-1 record and received an invitation to the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Still, the program's only bowl bid in 102 years of football.
It was an incredible feeling of acceptance and of recognition, and knowing that you've made it, you know, and that you're on the par with some of those big teams and big schools.
But within days of the invitation, the team learned of a rule instituted by the Orlando High School Athletic Association, which held the lease to the field where the game was to be played. According to the association, whites and blacks were prohibited from playing together on the same field. Mike Wilson and Willie Evans were not welcome.
I went to the store to get a newspaper. I discovered my picture on the front page along with Mike Wilson in the article suggesting that Mike and I would not be allowed to play.
The feeling of disgust and anger just was awful. And to being grown up in the Northeast, we didn't have any segregation or discrimination. I mean, there were no separate water fountains or separate, you know, sections of the bus for different colored people.
It was dumb people making dumb decisions. How can you dislike someone because of the way they look?
The school and the team's head coach, Dick Offenhammer, let the players themselves decide whether to accept the Tangerine Bowl bid. They gathered in the basement of the school gymnasium to take a vote.
In unison, we all stood up and looked at each other and said, we aren't going anywhere without our brothers, without Willie or Mike.
There are 50-some young men sitting in a room, and almost instantaneously, they all came through with that same feeling, that same response, no.
We knew that we weren't the same team without Willie and Mike. Whether they were bench warmers or stars, we wouldn't have been the same team.
Willie was not black, he was not white. Neither was Mike, not black or white. He was another football player with a number on it who I respected.
I cut my hand and I'm going to bleed and the blood's red. He cuts his hand and he's going to bleed and the blood's still red. So the outside doesn't make any difference. It's what's inside. It's the heart, the soul. It's the humanness of a person.
The Buffalo Bulls played 9 games in 1958, but it was the game they didn't play that defines them.
This tremendous team made a decision that would echo across the decades.
On the 50th anniversary of the team's decision, these men were honored by the university for their refusal to bow in the face of prejudice.
The important thing is that we didn't think it was a big deal. It is not a big deal to treat another person equal as you want to be treated.
I thought we'd make it here by halftime. It's such a long walk.